everybody, thank you for visiting my channel today. I'm so excited to finally have the opportunity to do this vlog because I have been asked a lot about how I was able to teach in the US and how to actually apply for a job there. So many teachers did not know that they can apply for a job in the US as a teacher without going through agencies that would ask you to pay for a huge amount of placement fee, and this placement fee that could go from 300 to 800,000 pesos does not even include yet other expenses like your actual visa application. If you don't have your passport yet, then you have to spend for it outside of the placement fee. Other documentations like your credential evaluations, and then your birth certificate. If you don't have that, it has to be PSA. You have to have a copy of your transcript of record, your diploma, and many other things. Obviously, the biggest expense would be the airfare. It's not included in the placement fee yet. So what I am saying is, if there are ways for you to go to the US to teach without going through placement agency, you have to try that first. Having the help of placement agency should be your last resort in case you really want to work in the US as a teacher. So that's what I did. I was able to teach in the US, in Florida specifically, for 5 years. I have recently came back to the Philippines because I have already completed my 5 years there. So I'm now complying with a 2-year home residency requirement of the J1 visa. So that was the visa that I had. And you can also work in the US using a different visa like the H1B visa. So H1B visa is a bit difficult to obtain compared to J1 visa. H1B visa is easier to obtain if you are already in the US. The J1 visa requires that the applicant should be residing outside of the US. So there are so many other differences between H1B and J1 visa. Obviously, the preferred visa is H1B because it can be converted to another type of visa, working visa, while you are in the US. J1 visa is limited up to 5 years only, and at the end of the 5-year program, you have to go back to your home country or wherever you have obtained your J1 visa. There are 2 ways for you to do direct hiring, which means you're not going through any placement agencies. So what you can do is, number 1, you can look for a visa sponsor first and then the employer next. So employer will be the district or the school. Or you can do the other way around, where you look for the employer first, that's the school or district, and then the visa sponsor. So how do you do these 2 steps exactly? I'll talk about the first one first because that's what I did during my time. So I looked for a visa sponsor. Actually not looked for it, but a friend introduced me to EPI, that's Educational Partners International. They are J1 visa sponsors. What you can do is you can start with this visa sponsor because they're still sponsoring teachers. And I also have the link to USCIS website where there's the list of all J1 visa sponsors in the US. So it should be legitimate because it's coming from the USCIS website. So look for the visa sponsor. Some visa sponsor like EPI, they will match you with the school. So I did not have to look for the school for myself. They were the ones that did that for me. So EPI has connection with 4 states: Florida, Virginia, South, and North Carolina. So there are different districts within those states, so many, but they are also connected to some of the districts only, not all of the districts in those states, and they will match you with a school. They were the ones that arranged all the interviews for me, and then they have guided me through all of the steps until I was able to go to the US, and they still continued to assist teachers that they brought to the US. So that's how EPI does the whole process. The things could be different with other visa sponsors. So I'm not saying that all of the visa sponsors will do that for you, like look for an employer for you. Other visa sponsors may ask you to find your own employer, obtain a job offer, and then they will just assist you with the sponsorship. Okay, so that's one of the 2 ways for you to do direct hiring. The second way is just the opposite of the first one. So obviously you can do both at the same time wherever you find success in getting a job offer. So the second one is to look for an employer first. So that's a district or a school, depending on how you do your job search, because public schools are under a district. So your employer there is really not the school but the district. But you can also look for private schools, so they're not under a certain district. So I'll give you photos of how it can be done. So over here, so how do you do it exactly? So what you can do is just to Google a Department of Education of a state that you have in mind. For instance, let's do Florida Department of Education, or FLDOE. On the website of FLDOE, you should be able to find the list of all the districts that they have, and from there choose one. My example is Orange County. That's where I worked before. So now that you are in the website of the district, again, example here is Orange County, then you can go either to the list of all the public schools that they have, or you can go directly to the tab in the district's website that says career, job, or employment opportunity, and they should have the list of job openings there. So make sure that you choose instructionals. That's referring to the teachers like you. So choose instructionals, and when you open that, you should be able to see the list of all the openings that they have, and where, like what school is hiring, and the contact information as well. Or if you want, on the district's website, you can click on the public schools list and then choose a school, and then see if there's a job opening that matches your credentials. So that's how you can do the second step. So again, like I said, you can do both ways wherever you find success. There are some districts or schools that are sponsoring visa. So when you find one, you are lucky, because you don't have to do extra step of looking for a visa sponsor, because your employer is already your visa sponsor. So what happens if the school is not sponsoring visa? Then you look for your visa sponsor. So you can go ahead and look at the list that I have. But again, that's just for J1 visa. I don't have a list for H1B visa. So those are the two steps. So I'm wishing you good luck. Just be diligent. Again, you don't have to go through placement agencies. You can go directly to the employer or to the visa sponsors. But either way, you need to have both in order to work in the US. Teachers, please be careful in dealing with people who are offering help to you so you can find work in the US. You should ask them if they are part of an agency or they work for a visa sponsor, and then you can check legitimacy of these agencies and visa sponsors from different Facebook groups. There are some teachers who already dealt with them. And suppose you decided to work with a placement agency, make sure to ask upfront what types of services they're going to give to you and how much will be the cost of everything. There should be no hidden fees. So before you sign anything, because I know they will ask you to sign a contract, make sure that you understand really well how much you are paying for, what those fees are for, and what kinds of services they are going to give to you. That's your right, because you're the one who's going to pay for these things, and you're the one who's going to work in the US. So yeah, that's it for me today. I hope this video has been helpful to you, or if you know somebody who might find this video useful, you can share it with them. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please subscribe, and you may hit the notification bell so that you will know if I have new videos like this. I have a playlist for how to get a teaching job in the US. If you want to watch that, I have the link down below. And just a reminder, I'm not a recruiter. I'm not in any way connected to a visa sponsor or a US school at this moment. So I just want to put that out there, because a lot of teachers are asking how I can help them, or they're saying like, I'm interested. So yeah, I can just share my experience because I have completed the program. So in that way, I'm hoping that I'll be able to help teachers like me who want to go to the US to teach. So this is it for me today. I hope to see you guys in my next video. Bye.